This is heating up Washington. The team is just hours away from making a decision that could change the course of the season, and I guarantee you don't want to miss it. With the trade deadline right around the corner, there's a huge move brewing that could bring a superstar to the team. Can you imagine what that means? The impact would be massive, and Washington could be one step away from competing at the highest level. But you've got to stick around till the end to find out which key player could be joining the Commanders' ranks. Red alert! The loss of one of our defensive leaders has left a huge gap on the line, and now all the pressure is on our star defensive tackle. This is his moment to shine or crumble. This player signed a multi-million-dollar contract, but can he really step up without his teammate on the field? If he fails, it could cost us the season. Boom! Breaking news from Washington's front office. We just signed a veteran who has the potential to shake up our defense. But that's not all. Another key defender has been practicing with the team and could be the surprise reinforcement no one saw coming. Who is it? We'll reveal it in just a few minutes. But I promise you, this move could turn the season around. Don't go anywhere. Hit that subscribe button and make sure you're front and center for this bombshell. Are you telling me that the Washington Commanders, with a 4-2 record, shouldn't make a big move before the trade deadline? Let me say this. If this team really wants to be a serious contender, they need to do something in the trade market. Now, what are they waiting for? Are they just going to sit back and watch other teams bolster their lines while we stick with what we have? Look at what's happening in the AFC East. The Jets and the Bills are already making moves. The Commanders should be in that same conversation. We can't fall behind. Is this the season Washington is finally going to show what they're made of? Or are we going to continue being that team that just watches from the sidelines? I believe with this positive record, this team needs to be buyers, not sellers. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Oh, but there are no options left in the receiver market. Sure. Brandon Ayuk got extended, Devontae Brown and Amari Cooper have already been traded, and the list goes on. But should we just sit back and wait until next season to do something? Absolutely not. If we truly want to compete, we need to strengthen where we can. And let me tell you, the defense needs help. Are we talking about the offense? Jaden Daniels has been shining, but what about the defense? Especially our secondary, we need a change urgently. I'm telling you, one of the smartest moves the Commanders could make before the deadline is to look for an experienced player, someone who has been in the trenches. Who am I talking about? Jonathan Jones. The safety from the Patriots has years of experience, over 120 games, and it's clear that New England is in a rebuilding phase. So why not take advantage of that opportunity? Now I ask you, what does this team need to be truly competitive in the playoffs? What's missing is a defensive leader in the secondary, someone with the experience and skills to immediately improve that part of the defense. Jones has 11 interceptions in his career and has defended 54 passes, which would be a huge asset for any team looking to make noise in the postseason. Washington needs to take a risk. I believe with a third-round pick, we could land Jones. And I wonder, wouldn't it be worth it? Of course it would. Now, I know some of you are thinking, but he's 31 years old. So what? That kind of experience doesn't come around every day. And believe me, when we get to those January games, we're going to need every bit of wisdom and veteran presence we can get. The offense is working, but the defense needs adjustments. And this is the perfect time to do it. If we really want to compete, if we really want to stop being the laughingstock of the league and start being a team that nobody wants to face in the playoffs, we need to make this move. I have exclusive news and I want you to pay attention because what's coming for the future of the Washington Commanders depends on one man, and that man is Darren Payne. Now let me ask you, can Payne carry the weight of this team after the devastating injury to Jonathan Allen? Because I'll tell you, he has no other option. Losing Jonathan Allen is a monumental blow to this defense. There's no other way to say it. Allen isn't just a leader on the field, he's the heart of that defensive line. And while his impact on the game may have diminished a bit, his absence creates a void that is impossible to ignore. Who's going to fill those shoes? I'll tell you who. It's Darren Payne. Payne is the man who has to prove he's worth every penny of that massive contract he signed. Because let me tell you, without Allen, all eyes are on Payne, and Washington needs this guy to become the dominant force we saw in 2022. Now I ask you, do you think he will? What we saw in 2022 was brilliant, 11.5 sacks, but was it just an anomaly, or is it something we can expect consistently from him? Payne can't keep being a promise. No more excuses. In the game against the Ravens, he didn't even register a statistic. Nothing. How can a player of his caliber, with a $90 million contract, disappear like that? This can't continue, especially now that Allen is out. And don't get me wrong, I believe Payne has the tools. He's a natural talent. But the reality is, this team depends on him now more than ever. He's the second highest cap hit on the team this year, at $21.61 million. Is he living up to that? I'll tell you he's not so far. And with that cap rising to over $26 million in the coming years, the pressure is at an all-time high. This team has a real chance to fight for the NFC East Championship in the first year under Dan Quinn. Quinn has brought a new energy to the team, a new direction. But without Jonathan Allen, everything changes, and Darren Payne is the man who has to step up. And if Dorrance Armstrong Jr., our best pass rusher, also misses time due to a rib injury, Payne is going to have to become that game wrecker we saw in 2022. Nothing less will be acceptable. Carl Davis joins the Commanders. Is this what the team needs to make a defensive turnaround this season? I'm telling you, this could be bigger than it seems. Why? Because Carl Davis isn't just any player, folks. This guy has been through several franchises, from the Ravens to the Browns, Patriots, Cowboys, and now he lands in Washington. Now let me ask you, is he just another practice squad signing, or can he really make an impact? I believe there's something deeper here. First, let's talk about Carl Davis. Davis was a third-round pick in the 2015 draft, coming out of Iowa with high expectations. His journey through the league has been rocky, yes, but we can't overlook the fact that he's a veteran with experience under complex defensive systems. Davis played for Dan Quinn and Joe Witt in Dallas, and if they saw something in him, I'm telling you, that's something the Commanders should take advantage of. His history with teams like the Patriots and Cowboys isn't something to take lightly. But now let's get to the key point. What does this mean for the Commanders? Is this a move that can change the course of our defense? I say yes. If we look at the recent performances of the Commanders' defensive line, we've had issues with interior pressure. Davis could be that guy who brings stability from the middle. Listen up, we're not talking about a player who's going to lead the league in sacks. But I believe Carl Davis can be a key piece for rotation and keep our starters fresh. And that's crucial. Don't you remember what happened last year when our main guys wore down too quickly? Now, the interesting part here is that Kyle Fuller was also tried out by the Commanders. What are our coaches doing? They're looking for options. Fuller, a veteran cornerback, already has his history with Washington. And what intrigues me is, are they considering him as a reinforcement in the secondary that we so desperately need? I'll tell you this. If Fuller gets in, we might see some adjustments in how we defend against the deep pass, something that has hurt us in recent weeks. Now I ask you, Commanders fans, do you think Davis will just be a practice squad filler, or does he have the potential to give more? I say this, let's give him a shot. Davis's experience could make a difference when the defense needs depth. And Fuller, if he gets signed, could bring that veteran presence we're missing in the secondary. Now I ask you, how would you resolve the situation in the secondary? Would you bring in a veteran like Jonathan Jones, or prefer to wait for the next draft? Leave your thoughts in the comments. We want to know what you think. Now let's move on to Darren Payne, the player of the moment. Is he ready to be the star this team needs? Or can he not shine without Jonathan Allen by his side? This is his big challenge. What do you think, fans? Will Payne step up under this pressure? And finally, about Davis. Do you see him as just a practice squad filler, or do you think he has the potential to surprise us? His future is on the line, and we want to hear what you think. Now it's your turn to be part of this great community of Washington Commanders fans, a family united by our passion for this team. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to stay updated with all the news, analysis, and discussions about our team. Leave your comments and join this exciting conversation. And remember, hail to the Redskins.